Sometimes on this channel I ask you guys to send me stories or situations from your lives based on a specific theme. And what ends up usually happening is that I get terrified of my own audience, or at least some people from them. But nothing quite like confessions, which you guys seem to adore. Because you're in need of therapy. So today we're doing confessions again, so that I can get scared and worry about the state of the internet. As always, let's start off relatively easy because I'm sure we're gonna run into some degen business within like 2 stories. Let's go. Oh boy, here we go. In high school, a few years ago, thank God, there was this girl I liked who I talked to relatively frequently in my classes. I never told her I liked her, but I did have her Discord.
Oh no!
We were in a mutual server related to a puzzle hunt, so I went to her profile and typed the heart emoji and the blush emoji in the notes section, only visible to you. Yikes. Also, at times I'd Google her name because a picture of her would pop up. Not anything freaky, just to look at it. Very, very, very sad. Sometimes we rate these confessions, and let me just say, man, this is one of the most innocent confessions ever. I might go on record and say, a lot of us have done similar things. Not go on Discord, I'm not that down bad. But I mean, Googling her name because a picture of her would pop up, that's not the worst thing I've ever heard. Right, guys? The only pause I have here is that you were in high school, and I don't know exactly what year in high school, because if you were a senior doing this, no, actually that's probably still legit. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, this is just a cute little innocent confession that someone wanted to share, unless it progressed past this, which I hope it didn't, but it doesn't sound like it did, so honestly, not too bad. Wait till you hear the rest of these. My ex-fiancée was cheating on me and eventually left because she fell in love with that guy. For 2 years, I've been subtly making her want me, showing her I've grown, just being a better human. I've just convinced her to leave her current boyfriend so that I can get her pregnant before the end of October. I will be ghosting her when she gets to my town. Anything you'd like to add? I'm not actually going to impregnate her. This is just a ruse to have her want me more. We already have 1 kid. There's a lot going on in this story. Starting with the fact that you are a psycho. This is like the most normal Reverse Flash storyline. You're trying to take revenge on someone who wronged you. You shouldn't be doing revenge. Watch Vinland Saga. And this girl seems to have a wandering eye because she's currently with someone who she cheated on you with and is now willing to leave him to go back to you, but it's all manipulation, plus you are certain that you could get her pregnant, but don't worry, you won't want to. And then you'll be ghosting her. Yeah, I mean, it is a confession. There's a lot of issues with every person in this story. Yeah, I mean, you gotta respect the hustle in some way. Not that I agree with what you're doing, but pretending to grow or change as a human being just to get back at someone is kind of next level. So for that, if we were doing tiers, I'd give you Reverse Flash. But we're not. I love imagining my favorite characters being deprived of happiness. Whenever I'm sad, I think of my favorite character at the moment and imagine the worst possible scenario of them, and it manages to make me calm down. Anything you'd like to add? Heard it could be a trauma response or a way to cope, but I don't believe in all that hocus pocus witchcraft. This confession sounds like you're confessing to something else that you didn't want to type out and that I'm actually probably not allowed to say online. Like, devious Rule 34 stuff. I think it's kind of weird that I don't want to say I relate to this, but one of my favorite feelings is melancholy. I just never want to put it onto other people. The real question is, how badly are they being deprived of happiness? Like, are you just watching like Naruto cry? Or are you watching like something else happen to Tsunade? You know what I mean? Because the confession takes a big turn then, man. That therapy would be probably good instead of submitting a Google form called confess to father, in parentheses, daddy. One time when I was babysitting my nieces and nephews, ages 7 to 13, oh my god, worst age, dude. Makes me just want to kick the. They were being super energetic, and by the end of the day, I couldn't take it anymore, so I made a smoothie with melatonin in it. It's a natural supplement. I'm not a monster. And within 30 minutes of drinking it, they were all sleeping on couches. When my sister came to pick them up, she commented we must have had a lot of fun because they were so tired. Anything you'd like to add? I felt bad and wouldn't do it again to her kids, but I would 100% do it to my own kids if I was a parent, which is why I will never be a parent, presumably. In other words, you drugged children. You sedated kids that weren't your own. You know, preferred choice of words is your choice. But honestly, kind of based. Obviously, nothing could really happen to them, but this seems illegal. This seems very illegal. If I was your sister, you know, I wouldn't be fucking with it. When I was in first grade, my librarian was reading us a book she wrote. It was about her son that she adopted that was born with AIDS. When you're used to her reading picture books, something about a more serious topic is hard to sell to a bunch of tiny children. After she finished reading, she went through a photo album of her with her son, cutting into the time we had to find our own books to read. I leaned over to some kid and said how lame this was, and the librarian heard me and got really pissed at me. I was in first grade and had no idea what AIDS even was. Also, I did not make the same mistake when she read the book the next year. I mean, to be honest, dude, just reading books is AIDS. I'm just kidding, that's a joke. Reading is powerful, it helps you learn a lot. Or so I'm told. Honestly, dude, this is weird as fuck. Why did the librarian do this? Why did she not get fired? This is... Obviously, first graders don't know anything about AIDS, and she strolls up with a picture book that clearly she has some trauma or cope responses that she needs to go through, and is like, sit down, bitch, let me show you about this sexually transmitted infection. It starts with HIV. Man, poor kid, obviously. Also poor you guys, and this librarian is fucking whack, dude. Also, I would imagine that your teacher is gonna be in there in the library with you, so what were they like? Oh, yes, it looks like... It seems like Truvada, the medication, works after all. They weren't, like, thinking, oh no, we probably shouldn't get into a bloody fist fight with this librarian. Luca! GCSE results came out on the 21st and I got 7 9s. I did 11 subjects and I got 8s in the other 4, even an 8 in further maths. It's not really a confession, but I'm scared to go around telling other people because it might seem as gloating. A-levels are next. Please give me some of your blessed Stanford wisdom. Dog, I would be so proud of you if I knew what the fuck you were talking about. Let me take a look-see. General certificates of secondary education. Standardized academic exams taken by students typically aged 15 to 16 in England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. I don't know what I just read, but I will share it now. I took a picture of my asshole and gooned to it because my skin tone was similar to my crush's, and I have a thick ass. Luca, your asshole is next. Good to know. Also, how do you know about the first part? Have you seen the elusive starfish? This is one of the strangest things I've ever read. Not like the worst things. I've read a lot of weird incest ones, strangely, which, to be honest, you haven't really clarified anything about your crush, and if they look similar skin tones, then... But yeah, no, this is a strange one. You're a strange... I feel like I'm malfunctioning. I don't know how to react. I took a picture of my asshole and gooned to it because my skin tone was similar to my crush's and I have a thick ass. Wow. Wow. When I was 10, I learned about porn from some kids at my lunch table at school. When I got home, I searched it up and very persistently tried finding CP. Because I was 10 and didn't know anything. I searched different things for like 10 minutes before giving up. You didn't find any, dude? You didn't go on YouTube and just ask the YouTubers what they do? I sometimes wonder if I was put on a watch list and if I still am on one to this day. Kids should not have unrestricted internet access. Amen, brother. This is one of those things that I've never had happen to me personally, but I kind of understand the thought process of, and it's just uber cringe looking back. Not because you did anything wrong at the time, realistically, but because, you know, you think back and you're like, hey, yeah, no, there was a time where I was I was looking for CP. I gotta say though, if politicians were as open as some of you, we would have the Epstein files like fucking this, dude. Politicians would be, here we go, Luca. Read these fucking files. Meanwhile, they apparently have something to hide. It is with a heavy heart that I admit this grave secret of mine. I have never actually gooned to Luca Levy. Wow. Well, that makes one of us. I'm not afraid to say I regularly fantasize about killing evil men in power and ending all religions, starting some sort of save humanity and planet Earth movement. It only gets me more frustrated, LMAO. And here we are, Chief. Submitting confessions to a YouTuber's Google Forms. Man, why aren't you fantasizing about killing the evil women in power? Such as, I'm not gonna say online. Cause I don't know any. Yeah, man, we got fucking Luigi's Mansion 4 already. I mean, Honestly, I don't even think this one is that bad. Like, you're doing it for a noble cause. You'd be an anti-hero in a comic book. Think about it that way. I don't even think that you're like a psychopath necessarily for this, just that you probably have some very strong opinions about certain things, which is good, and hopefully we all stay educated so that we can have strong opinions about things. But yeah, killing is bad. I caught my dad jorking it 3 separate times. Anything you'd like to add? I'm okay. But how, dude? Honestly, how does this happen? Actually, you know what they say? 1 time, accident. 2 times, unlucky. 3 times, you went looking. There is no way, unless your dad is like the most conspicuous man ever, that is like, okay, family, just so you guys know, please don't go into my room right now. And then he leaves the door open and you just hear. And then you're like, hee hee, already got him twice. The racetrack's in your out, father. I don't know, man. I just feel like if I was a dad, I would do everything in my power to have this specific situation never happen. Like, literally anything else can happen and I'd be fine with it. I just wouldn't want my child to see something like this, man. I don't know. Skill issue on your dad's part if you actually just caught him. I had a crush on a girl I met online, like halfway across the world. This is cringe to begin with. She correctly told me it could never work when I told her, and I immediately pulled out the classic, "How's the weather?" to break the silence. It didn't make it any less awkward. Well, honestly, the confession's not that bad. Another kind of innocent, cute one, depending on how old you were. You didn't mention your age, so that actually kind of worries me. All that I can really say is that, yeah, this seems pretty chronically online. Except, holy shit, this is even more chronically online. I've gotten bricked to my own Terraria character before multiple times. Here's the set. 90-star hair, familiar wig, magic hat with purple and silver dye. Oh my god, you use mods too, dude. Holy fuck. Is my vanity set good? Fire. We all goon to Zenless Zone 0. Aha! Caesar is so bad, bro! Damn. Sometimes I think, yeah, no, it's good that I head outside. Hairstyle 90 Terraria. I'm gonna judge you based off of this alone. What am I looking at here? This is the one you pick? Fucking Rapunzel? Ginger Rapunzel? Wait, what color did you say? You didn't even specify a color, so you just keep a base hair? I don't know if I can get behind this, man. This gets you bricked up? Alright, chief. Luca, I've been a subscriber since your JJK videos. You've delivered excellent content consistently. I barely have or ever not wanted to view your content during my spare hours. Please do not make fun of how I type. It would be disparaging, especially with a large amount of YouTube videos. Confession. Cunt Point Chuya Nakahara and Cunt Boy Pure Vanilla. I'd love to fill them up. Until their eyes are brimming in tears. In case you get curious of how they look and stumble upon an image of either, they are of age! Peavy is a non-human. He's going to look quite diminutive. I refuse to endanger children. My fantasies are deplorable, fit for a degenerate misfit, while remaining ethical and well within reasonable bounds. Yes, I'm basic. I prefer the smaller bottom. Dude, most normal anime expo goer. Anything you'd like to add? I need them kneeling at my side like a supplicant at the altar, not in the MPreg sense. I'd like a thorough fucking of them. Really, it's worth noting how fuckable they look. And then we got some, like, ASCII art. Pure vanilla, and Chuya. Nice visualization. They can send me crazy shit if they use ICC or text art. Yeah, shouldn't have said that. Probably not. Wow. Wow. I'm not going to make fun of the way you type. Again. In fact, I'm not even going to make fun of anything. We've read this. Now the viewers have it within their capabilities to judge. All I can say is... Anime fans, man, am I right? I lie to people all the time. I don't have a condition or anything that would explain it. I'm not a pathological liar, but I have other issues. It just happens. I can't ever say the truth if I'm asked why I can't come to my friend's wedding, for example, even though the truth usually isn't embarrassing. One time my ex-boss asked me if I wanted to go back to work for him, and I didn't really want to, so I told him I got medical conditions that restricted me from going back to work illegally. I lie about having physical conditions. Not to get out of trouble, but to make others feel bad for being mean to me. If someone's yelling at me and I'm zoned out and later confronted about it, I'll tell them I'm hard of hearing instead of saying I zoned out. When I was a child, I told random kids that Vladimir Putin was my father. I'm not a pathological liar, I swear. I don't always lie, and I mostly lie to strangers or people I don't have much connection with. Yeah, Chief, I'm gonna be honest with you. Do you know what I'm not a pathological liar, I swear, sounds like? Especially after this story. Sounds a little bit like something a pathological liar might say. Hello, Daddy Luca. I matched on Tinder with my cousin, and now I don't know what to say to her. We live in the same house. Anything you'd like to add? She is really hot. Well, I mean, you could go with the tried and true, what color's your butthole? We probably have the same skin tone. The fucked up thing here is that both of you needed to swipe right in order to match with one another. And I feel like this is one of those situations where one person is like, I'm gonna swipe right just because I know this person. And the other person, you, is like, finally! This was my fucking chance. I can't wait to riz her up. And then nothing happens. As always, thankfully. P.S. Ex-fiance post. Holy shit, dude, we got the fucking manga continuation of the ex-fiance. I started sleeping with her best friend a month after we broke up. I got her to fall for me so I can use it as my revenge, but I felt a little bad for her best friend. I think that's about it. Alright, Casanova. Part 2's never as good as part 1. Hate to break it to you, man. Here's my confession. I find dragons hot. Now, I'm not a furrier of anything of that sort, but seeing their majestic form incites a plethora of dopamine to my primal brain. Joking aside, I think the trauma of not having stable parental figure that wasn't drunk all the time made me grab some sort of confidence. That I was the Christian they wanted me to be. No, the Christian they believe I am. But hey, that's life. Love your video, man. I recommend you check out Golden Treasure the Great Green. It's an amazing dragon game that is pretty deep and verbose. It should get more attention in my opinion. Also, I love when you give real life advice in your videos. Makes me think about my own life and what I can do better. I will give you this video's tentative award for that was certainly a confession of all time. And as for advice, I don't usually like giving this advice because it's ancient knowledge, usually hidden behind a paywall, but I'll let you know anyway. If any of you are ever struggling in life, just a few years ago, I got really obsessed with anime. Fuck me, man. We saw how this happens. And the other more freaky part of anime, I used to run around my school courtyard talking about how I had an anime body pillow, loser, and was flexing about it. I also bought a really shitty Ahegao hoodie, which I wore to Walmart with my mom. I'm still surprised she didn't disown me after that one. Luckily, it was my last year at that school, and I'm fully graduated now, but the shame is still there. I also went time around the schoolyard saying 2D is better than 3D. Also love the content. Always get excited when I see a new video from you. Also, I'm better now. Man, the Ahegao shirts and hoodies, I've never understood how someone can wake up, have like a closet full of clothes in front of them, see the hoodie, look at it and be like, you know what? That one. Today I'm wearing that one. And then your mom is in Walmart like, my fucking god, dude. His dad was so cool. Sometimes I imagine getting sexual with... Come on, man. Getting sexual with, really? Most people I personally know just imagine him getting deported. Just kidding, guys. It's just a joke. I have a foreign friend. I have a black friend, dude. No! I'm teaching you what not to do online. Good person. Luke, I need pickup lines, please! I got some baddies I need to pull. Honestly, dude, usually my pickup line is pretty simple. It's just, hey. And from there, it's smooth sailing. But hey, I mean, if you guys want to do like a community discussion about sending me pickup lines, we can do that. I'm honestly tired of the whole dude thing, and I want to be a girl from now on. Only problem is that my parents are 50-50 on LGBTQ stuff, and my grandma, who I live with 24/7, is vehemently against it. Well, you might only have to worry about that for another couple of years. I just want to rip the band-aid and get everything off, but I know the moment that I do, most of my family is going to be disappointed in me, and I'm going to be a problematic subject during reunions. I plan to become Asa Mitaka in heart and soul. You know, I've seen friends very close to me go through this. It is something that you should think about, but if this is your calling, honestly, there's never been a better time than now. And hopefully in the future it's even easier. And you should always put yourself first. I say this in my videos all the time. If your family doesn't fucking respect you for something, fuck your family, dog. Yeah, you can't choose to be with them. Spoiler alert, some families are really shitty. My family, dope, and I'm thankful for that. And they accept me for who I am, a YouTuber. But I mean, like, even if you want to transition, if they don't buy it, who gives a fuck, dog? Like, what are they gonna do, kill you? I've actually seen people blossom into human beings that they haven't been after transitioning. If this is what you want to do. It's not for everybody, but it works for some people. And like, who gives a shit, man? Just, you do you. It's dope. It's freeing. During my last summer of high school, my gay friend confessed his love to me, fully aware that I'm a straight man. I knew he was gay for years, but I didn't care. I didn't know about his feelings towards me. A few weeks after this, he started texting weird things to me that made me uncomfortable. He wanted to pay me so I can buy him a dildo. Didn't want it on his transaction history. Asked me about what color thong he should get, and would send photos of him in femboy outfits. This made me really uncomfortable because I'm still straight, and wasn't sure how he wanted me to respond. Mind you, he was confiding only in me with this information as he was too embarrassed to tell anyone else. He'd explicitly ask I didn't turn this into gossip, so I've kept it to myself. I would wait for other texts from him so I could reply to those instead of the ones that made me uncomfortable. That's quite the confession. Honestly, you didn't do anything wrong. However, I've been in a situation like this. I've had a snap streak with someone for a really long time, and then all of a sudden, it was a gay guy. He started sending me dick pics out of the blue with like caption,
I want to see yours next.
I was like, dude, this must be for someone else. Certainly it's not for me. And I replied with that, and apparently I kept getting dick pics. Not even apparently, I did. And that made me really uncomfortable, so blocked and removed. Yeah, it sucked, honestly. I kind of understand how a lot of high school girls, and probably after high school, feel now. Confessions. My friend mugged an immigrant kid from Asia and I did nothing, and he got permanent brain damage from being slammed on concrete. Brother, what the fuck? Get new friends, man. What? Immigrant kid from Asia? Doesn't even really matter. This sucks. Actually it kind of does. It makes it a hate crime. I low-key have daddy issues, but when I was younger, I didn't realize. I only started to notice when my homegirl pointed out that I only go after older guys that low-key look like my dad. Anything you'd like to add? Please put this in the video. I watch you all the time. Okay. At least you're self-aware. I mean, I guess this could be a problem depending on how much older they are and how old you are. Anyway, it's so crazy how I look just like your dad. I'm joking. Cut that out, Luca. It's a joke. People will think that you're serious, dude. Stop it. Everything online is real. This isn't really a confession. Okay, then fuck off. But is thinking you're a good person being arrogant? I mean, if you think positively about yourself, you can't back up your opinion. Isn't that arrogant? Like, if you say you're the sexiest man of all of history, but you look like the cart titan, this is an exaggeration, but you get the point. No, I don't think it's necessarily being arrogant. I mean, arrogant just means being cocky. You might be delusional, but it's not necessarily making you a bad person in any way. In fact, you should have confidence. Although you should also be relatively grounded in reality, because if you're fugly and you think you're the sexiest man in all of history, you're in for a rude awakening. Also, you use attractiveness as an example, but you ask, is thinking you're a good person being arrogant? Being a good person and being attractive are two different things, man. They're obviously not mutually exclusive. But what does one have to do with the other? I would say that your personal confidence is not an issue unless it affects other people or your relationships with other people or infringes on other people's happiness. So man, no, just keep doing you. As long as you feel successful and content and fulfilled in life and think that you're doing what you're meant to be doing and happy, I stand by you. My grandfather always said that once he dies, he wanted his ashes spread over this hill south of my town. I remember hiking up there on a windy day with my cousins a few weeks after his death to fulfill his wish. Once we arrived at the summit, it was decided that I would be the one to spread the ashes. I started stupidly spreading it facing the direction opposite of the wind. It was so I could face the town, and I ended up having a significant amount of his ashes blow into my mouth and nose. Of course, out of reflex, I tried to cough it out, but still ended up swallowing a good chunk. So you tasted pops. You got a little bit of pops inside you, huh? I would not say this makes you a cannibal, though. I know you asked this question as well. It's not human flesh. It's just ash. But low-key, you could do some really cool reverse Kratos thing here, you know? Like your grandfather can possess you from the inside while your inside has his ashes all over your body, and you can become like a god killer. That's pretty cool. It must have tasted like ass. I used to piss under my brother's bed when I got angry at him. I don't fucking get it. Like, where you're... I don't get it. So you'd be angry at your brother, and then at some point, presumably, you'd, like, walk into his room, or maybe he knew. You just unzipped and were like, haha, fuck you. And your guardians were like, ah, yes, another Soma113 moment, pissing under his brother's bed. What compels children to do this, man? I was never like this. Am I special? Alright, and last but not least, we're not finishing with a Luca oil up one. Daddy Luca, it's time I admit it. I'm so down bad for you I'd crawl across broken glass and 6-inch hills just to sniff the chair you sat in. My sweet Lukey Wookie Pookie Bear, you are sex on legs and I can't take it anymore. I want you to give me a full TED talk while rearranging my internal organs. I should have read this ahead of time. And your muscles? Oh god, your muscles. Every time you flex, somewhere a twink spontaneously combusts. Your biceps aren't just arms. They're weapons of mass seduction. You could pick me up, fold me like laundry, and I'd say, thank you, sir. May I have another? I want to oil you up. Well, fuck. Alright, we'll end it there. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know what you thought about these confessions. I tried not to include as many incestual or poop pee confessions because apparently that is all that ever happens on planet Earth. But we still got some, it would seem. If you have any suggestions for future videos, drop those in the comments down below. Any games to play or series to cover, community discussions to do, real world things to do. Everything I do for you. And go check out other videos on our channel. We have a whole library of variety content. We're building a YouTube empire. Community driven. Variety channel, nicheless, genuine. Boom. What more can you ask from a content creator? And you know what? His IQ is 160 because he went to Stanford. That's not why his IQ is 160 though. Correlation does not equal causation. Anyway, that doesn't even make sense right there. But I love you and goodbye.